Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Come on in, everyone. JLR investigates with the breaking news. Reporting from outside City Hall in Springfield, Ohio. And let's talk, because some things have just broke on the news about what is going on here in Springfield. There is City Hall right there. Heavy police presence out here. A lot of media out here because the governor of Ohio is here. Mike Dewine is inside this building right here. Going to give a press conference. We don't know what he's going to say in there. Believe it or not, I got denied access to this particular press conference. I tried to go in, and they refused me entry into the press conference. So kind of like, whoa, secrecy. What are you trying to hide here? It's been a long time since I've been denied an actual press conference. The last time I could think of being denied was Danilo Cavalcanti on the manhunt of the escaped prisoner in Pennsylvania. But let's talk, folks, because the mayor has just declared emergency measures in Springfield, Ohio. And we're talking about the mayor here. And there's some news breaking. I want to share with all of you. And this news is saying, come on in. I see a lot of people piling into the chat. Come on in. Let's talk. Springfield mayor takes emergency control following escalating threats. Maybe that's why the governor's here. So what it says is the mayor of Springfield, Rob Rue, issued a formal proclamation Thursday that allows him temporary emergency powers amid public safety concerns. The decision to issue the proclamation came after the city received more than 30 bomb threats aimed at schools, hospitals, city buildings in response to false comments from politicians that Haitian immigrants were stealing and eating pets. That's wild. He's declaring emergency based off politicians saying that Haitian migrants are eating pets. The proclamation will allow the city to respond more quickly to emergency situations such as civil unrest, cyber threats, and the potential acts of violence. Rue's office said in a release, this week, Dewine sent state troopers to Springfield to patrol schools and other areas to enhance safety measures. The decision to issue the proclamation came after the city received more than 30 bomb threats. Ensuring the safety of Springfield's residents is our top priority. That's what the mayor said. We are addressing these threats with seriousness. They warrant and are taking immediate steps to ensure the security of both our community and our employees. Our commitment preventing harm is unwavering. Let me get over here. That's crossed. The proclamation will allow city to respond more quickly to emergency situations such as civil unrest, cyber threats, and potential acts of violence. The proclamation will remain in effect until officials determine that public safety risks have subsided. So this is, who knows, it could be a couple of days, it could be a couple of weeks, it could be a month, it could be a year, could be indefinitely, technically, if they say, hey, the situation is not fixed. But what is the situation? What is really the situation going on here? I'm going to show you the clip here being denied entrance into City Hall. The comments were made by former President Donald Trump and Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance, putting a national spotlight on the city. So they're kind of like blaming Trump and Vance. Trump also used the city as an example during his presidential debate with Vice President Kamala Harris. Officials have confirmed to Spectrum News that the comments are false and that there are no reports to back the claim. So they're trying to say, no, there's no one eating pets. It's not true. So this is City Hall. So I was going to attend this press conference here, and I got denied entry. I got denied entry inside City Hall. They wouldn't even let me in. I don't know what is going on here, but I actually made a tweet. And I'm going to sit over here and show you the tweet that I made. Come on in, folks. There's some wild stuff going on here. I can just say the least. There's vans, literally vans with temp tags running around all over the place, picking people up and shipping them all over the place. We've personally seen it with our eyes. Temp tags. I made a video on it. Check it out. But this is an incident that happened earlier when I tried to get access. Hello.
Are you one of the outlets?
I am.
Oh, which one?
JLR Investigates. So I'm on YouTube, big channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you investigate?
The whole town. I want to find out what all the hype is. You want to find out what's going on in the hype. You know, whether these claims are legit or not. And I want to hear from different people. You know, that sort of deal.
What have you heard so far?
I hear a mixed bag of opinions. You know, some say there's issues here, and others say it's blown out of proportion. It's not. And then there's some that's in a middle ground saying something. This system here, this process can't sustain itself. So, you know, people talk about accidents and people talk about, you know, things that are going on, and you know, we're just trying to document. I'm YouTube Live, by the way.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. if you're trying to attend the press conference, it's probably in there, right there.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. You have a good day. All right, that is a media journalist asking me what's up. But going back, let me show you. So some guy comes out and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is for invite only." The guy literally told me, and I tweeted this out. I said, the secrecy in Springfield, Ohio continues. I was denied access to a press conference being held by Governor Mike Dewine. I was told it's invite only for preferred mainstream media outlets. So the fact that JLR Investigates is not a mainstream media outlet, I was denied entry. What's going on here? So this is what happened here. Let me turn up the volume and share this with you. Hopefully you can see okay. I'm kind of in the shade, but we select invite journals.
General.
Here we go. Check this out right here. So I'm documenting this. You're saying we can't attend a press conference?
I do not have permission to let you into this press conference. It's an invitation only.
It's invitation to. It's a right for freedom of press to attend a press conference. We are journalists. We're journalists. We have the right to attend.
I believe this will be live streamed, and you have every right to cover it from the live streams that the other media opportunities are doing.
So for my viewers here and everyone to watch,
sure.
So you're saying that you select journalists can come to listen to this press conference, governor, mayor, whoever's speaking. Select journalists? Only select invite journalists?
I generally only have permission for mainstream newspapers and broadcast media outlets and cable television.
I'm on TV. I cover press conferences around the country. What is the issue?
I just don't have permission, so I'm going to have to go back.
Well, how do I obtain permission? How do I obtain permission? I mean, this is a violation of the First Amendment, and I'm sure you have a chain of command, but this is a violation of the First Amendment.
I do apologize. We could deal with this after. I'm not going to be able to do it today.
Who said no? So I know, so I can go through the legal process to find out why I was denied to attend the press conference. Like,
I will certainly let it was not the decision of our chief counsel. I generally let him know about these things ahead of time because he usually gets contacted, and that's certainly appropriate, but I will let him know about this.
But who is that? What's his name?
I mean, we've got a communications staff member.
What's his name? I mean, he's a taxpayer person. Who is he? What's his name?
I'm not going to provide that.
So you're not going to deny. You're going to deny me entrance inside a building for a press conference and deny me the person I need to contact to find out why I was denied it. Come on, how does that make sense?
I do apologize, sir. I'm going to have to go back inside.
That doesn't make sense.
Okay, but do you have his phone?
Do you have his phone?
Excuse me. No, you have our phone.
He doesn't have our phone. I have my phone.
I thought he took your
No,
phone.
I have my phone.
Oh.
So, how does that even make sense? It doesn't. So, select media. How does that even make sense? Invite only. Invite only. Invite only. So in the state of Ohio, they must not consider bloggers, podcasters, YouTubers, access to, what's going on here? We got people out here.
Give me your phone number, but I'm gonna follow up and make sure he calls you.
937.
I'm gonna turn the camera away because he's giving his phone number. So I guess they're not letting people in. That's what it seems like. City Hall. City Hall. I'm gonna find out what's going on here. Yeah, they don't want anybody going in. You have to be credential media only. If you're not credential, or if you're in here for another matter, they might let him in. They don't want nobody covering. They don't want nobody covering the press conference. But that's fine, whatever, like that. We can get the press conference online. It's no big deal. Well, it is a big deal. I think it's a big deal, but that's not the issue here. There's a lot of bigger issues going on here. This is just part of it. The secrecy of not. There's a lot of weird things going on here. Let me just say, for the last day and a half of being here, there's bizarreness. There's people running around in vans that are unmarked with temp tags, full with people inside these vans, going door to door to door. And the governor's here again, and the governor might be here because of the bomb threats, or maybe some sort of money allocated, resources and stuff like that. I don't think the governor's going to specifically say and condemn like Trump or Vance. I couldn't see Dewine do that here like the mayor's doing, because the mayor says he doesn't want Trump in town here. But additionally, Governor Mike Dewine condemned the comments, saying they are not legitimate. So maybe he did. Maybe Dewine did say about Trump and Vance, but I don't see him at a press conference actually calling them out. I mean, why would he do that? Many of these threats are coming in from overseas, made by those who want to fuel the current discord surrounding Springfield. We cannot let the bad guys win, said Dewine in a news conference. We must take every threat seriously, but children deserve to be in school, and parents deserve to know that their kids are safe. The added security will help ease some of the fears caused by these hoaxes. Let me find out what's going on with this guy. Hi. YouTube Live. What's going on? You were denied entry or what? What's going on?
It's closed to the public. It's only by invite only.
Only by, or were you trying to attend the press conference?
I was just trying. I thought it was.
I got denied.
It was listed as a town hall meeting online, and technically anybody in the public, if you're a resident, has the right to speak at a town hall meeting. They can't deny us that.
I agree. So I got denied entry. This is kind of why I'm live, to share with everyone that I was denied entry, and I showed a clip. And I'm media.
Their door down. So.
So you're a private citizen?
Yes.
So what were you coming here for today? Like, what
just
was
to get help with something that happened, because I was in a wreck back in December that was not my fault, that had to do with the immigration crisis in Springfield.
Tell me.
I don't blame the Haitians. I blame the fact that they weren't brought here and properly. The guy didn't know what a stop sign was, and somebody gave him a driver's license.
So let's talk about that. What happened with the accident?
He ran a stop sign on Bechtel right there in the main lane and just completely ran right in front of me. I didn't have time to barely slam my brakes and hit his tail end at a complete 360. My truck got totaled. My radiator was leaking. My engine was smoking. I got out of my truck, and he attempted, after about 20 seconds, to drive off and cause a second wreck with a lady and her 12-year-old daughter in the car. And then he walked off and got out of the vehicle and started walking off a couple of minutes after. He had even spoke with me, because there were a couple of Spanish guys that had stopped that spoke the language and was able to translate. He said he didn't know what stop sign was. He did apologize, but then he walked off. He lived on the same road, walked off down towards his house, and next thing you know, the cops show up, and it's like he started walking the second he heard the sirens. And the proof was there because he tried to run from the scene. That's why he caused a second wreck. The prosecutor dismissed both cases.
Why?
Exactly. See, so, and I went to the hospital the next morning. I couldn't even go that morning. The cops, it was snowing. I was in short sandals like I am now and a t-shirt. And I spent 2 hours outside standing in the cold and the snow waiting for the police to finally
finish their reports and stuff, and then they made me feel like I had to stay and deal with getting my truck towed home, or it would have got impounded. I didn't have the money for that, so I stayed, dealt with that. By the time I got home, I couldn't even move. I went to the hospital the next morning, and turned out my troponin levels from my heart were 65, which when I had a heart attack 2 weeks earlier, it was 63. So the wreck caused me not only to have another heart attack, I got 7 ruptured discs in my spine now, arthritis in the neck, chronic freaking migraines, which I have swelling all the way back to beyond my neck, and it's been like that since the freaking wreck. It's been like a hammer hitting my head 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It's okay. I'm dealing with it, but I'm up, I'm moving, I'm thankful, but I shouldn't be able to walk. I have 7 new ruptured discs. Anybody that's ever had a bad back and 1 disc knows 1 can put you on your ass for months. I got 7, and the pain is intermittent, meaning sometimes it hits me and sometimes it doesn't, which more than likely is a sign of nerve damage from numbness, or I wouldn't be able to walk right now. So I just want to know why I can't get one simple MRI, lower lumbar MRI done to my spine, which is holding up all my medical issues, including heart issues. It could kill me, because I don't feel comfortable somebody cutting on my heart or putting a stent in me when I can't feel that area from numbness. The numbness happened from the wreck, and the only thing holding me up, I did the whole MRI for my body, but I had to go out of town to get it done. I couldn't fit in the machine to get the one done on my lower back, with 7 new ruptured discs isn't enough proof. Like arthritis in the neck, chronic migraines isn't enough proof to get the one test that a hospital recommended from a full body CAT scan to get done within 72 hours after my wreck. And here it is in September. It happened December 19th, and I have still not gotten the proper treatment.
Who was the person that hit you? Like, was it a younger? How old was it?
No, he was a little older. I don't remember his name, but and again, it's not the.
And he got arrested for the.
No.
No.
Not that I know.
So,
forgive me, I have to take.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. So, okay, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the accident aspect, because what we're hearing as boots on the ground is there's a lot of accidents dealing with these individuals that are coming over, and they're getting permits, but the permits don't require a driving test, so they can get a permit for a year. What residents have been telling me, he's not the only one. I mean, I've been speaking to a lot of people off camera, and they've been saying, wrecks. I mean, the guy today running around in a van that I documented, I saw 2 vans, but the one I was documenting was sitting around, driving around, weaving around streets without even using turn signals, with temp tags on a van. Don't even know if the person had a driver's license or not. And that seems like that is the issue here. I mean, people are being provided learner's permits and then can just have no clue whatsoever how to drive and stuff like that. And it really affects people. People get injured significantly. I mean, I was just reading about the child that got killed. The child that got killed on the first day of school a few years back. I mean, it's very, very, very sad around here what's going on. But is it like nothing to see here? Do they not want you to see this? I mean, the mayor seems like he's saying this is all blown out of proportion, or this is rhetoric by Trump and Vance. What's going on? What's that bill? State representative. Who's that? Almost an accident there. Plumber for state representative. Maybe we'll ask Plumber. There's somebody here that just pulled up for state representative, so I'm sure they know something about the issue and have a particular position. So if this person comes out here, I'll ask the person if they want to speak. If that's the person that's running for state representative, I'll ask them what their take is. You want to hear is from the many people as possible. And again, folks, there's people from all sides of the issue who have reached out to us and talked, and there's a wide range of opinions, and people have a lot of thoughts about this. I don't think this goes away. So in a sense, maybe the emergency declaration by the mayor is good in a sense, because who knows who's going to be coming in town in the next couple of weeks, whatever. I hear that there's some rallies that are going to be on the weekends coming up, like rallies. You heard the former president of the United States say last night that he's coming here and he's going to Aurora, Colorado. Another controversial issue in Aurora, Colorado, dealing with the Venezuelan migrants. So it's like a beacon. I'll call this ground zero. Ground zero. And there's definitely issues. I've seen it myself. And if you're hearing from the residents on the ground who are telling you specific, and then you just heard from one that told you a specific example, It's not third hand. It's nothing he heard from someone else. This is a guy, the victim himself, that was hit by someone that, I guess he said, a double hit and run. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy around here. I'm going to get Magnolia in the chat shortly, but here's another thing I wanted to touch on over here. This thing right here. And I'm downtown right now. I was all on the side streets earlier going through the neighborhoods. It's really quiet, though, through the neighborhoods right now. There's not a lot going on through the neighborhoods. I mean, I went to Walmart today. I'm just seeing what's going on here. Excuse me for a minute. I saw a representative for Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh, look, the media people are leaving. Are they leaving? Not a large police presence today, but okay. So this thing here, I guess this is just to watch everything and watch people, watch out for these bomb threats. I see a lot of unmarked SUVs too. So I don't know what's going on. Private event. But this thing right here, this tower here, is supposed to be like watching everyone and making sure, I guess, for the bomb threats that have been happening in Springfield right here. It's like a tower right here. But you see this sometimes in some of these cities where it's high crime. It says Ohio Department of Public Safety. Now I'm gonna go to this town hall meeting. I'm waiting to see if that other guy was coming out, that state representative. But it is, I will say, overall, it is quiet around here. I think things are happening, but it's kind of like spotty at this point. And, or, you know, some of the residents told me everybody was told to lay low. And I don't know what that means, told to lay low, but people are told to lay low. I think the media left the press conference. I think press conference over. This is the governor. I think this is the governor. Possibly. This just pulled out. Media pulled out. Could be the governor. In there. Maybe. Could be. Because all the media is coming out. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Can someone tell me if that press conference with the governor's over? Governor Dewine had a press conference. I think that's Governor Dewine right there. Came out of the bottom there. He came in through there, through the bottom. Well, sometimes these governors roll around by themselves, you know, just with one convoy. Sometimes they have a convoy of a couple people. There's definitely somebody in the back seat there. Yeah, I'm not so sure. Interesting. Interesting. All right, so let's stroll a minute. I'm going to get Magnolia in the chat, and we're going to talk a little bit. Actually, Magnolia, I'll work my way back to you to the vehicle, and then we can actually talk. Boots on the ground, Springfield. What else is going on around here? Neighborhoods. The mayor has the mayor owns a company. It's like a funeral home. Magnolia, put the name of the company, the business that the mayor owns. But I think it's like a funeral home. And at this funeral home, numerous properties all around that funeral home or that place belongs to the mayor. It's like Mason Street or Madison, in those areas. But overall, I mean, it's beautiful down here. I don't know, Google, there's an emergency proclamation that the mayor has made. Oh, another thing too. So I was outside. I was outside talking to some people at Love's and management. Get out. Well, the one person came out and was like, "You can't be here. We don't want media on the property. We're at the Love's truck stop on 41 and 75. They don't want people there filming. That's supposed to be a bus stop at 7:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. every day. Greyhound drops people off there." Though the employee told me this is what's wild though. The employee told me shoplifting is a very extreme concern in the Loves. She's like, people come in and steal and shoplift once they come off the bus. That's what the employee specifically told me. And the other one, the manager was like, you gotta go, you gotta go. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Now some of the residents don't want to speak too. Some residents, no comment, no comment. So some do, some don't. But we've been getting a ton of emails from people. I'm gonna get Magnolia over here, sit in our vehicle and just talk so she can explain a little bit about this proclamation, emergency proclamation. Emergency proclamation. Hello, Magnolia.
Hello.
So, tell us a little bit about the emergency proclamation, Magnolia.
Well, the mayor today decided to grant himself emergency powers. And he's saying that it's because of the bomb threats that have been happening all over town. So he says there's been more than 30 bomb threats aimed at schools, hospitals, and city buildings in response to false comments from politicians that Haitian migrants are stealing and eating pets.
So he's basically saying that the bomb threats are the cause of the bomb threats is because of the eating the pets rhetoric.
Yes.
So if eating the pets was never said, there would have been no bomb threats.
That's what he's saying, yes.
He's saying that, folks. That's the kind of way we're reading it.
So it says the proclamation will allow the city to respond more quickly to emergency situations such as civil unrest, cyber threats, and potential acts of violence. So this week, Dewine also sent state troopers to Springfield to patrol schools. And this is for the bomb threats. So the powers that he has sound very vague and very broad.
Well, what can he do? Like, what powers does it give a mayor to do? Like, what can he do? Like, when he says to respond to this, but what does that mean?
Well, the civil unrest part, I would think, means any type of protests that might prop up or protest groups that might decide to come to town. It would give him authority to crack down on those things. Cyber threats is very vague. That could apply to people making videos online, saying certain things online about the situation.
Curfews?
Yeah, and then potential acts of violence, which again is extremely broad. Because
But can't the governor...
How can you determine that?
I didn't listen to the governor's press conference. Did he have a press conference?
Well,
because,
that's
I mean,
what
they were all
said.
leaving. They all left out of there, so I'm assuming he had it already.
But you're only allowed to know what the governor said if you watch mainstream media. They only want people who watch mainstream media to hear what the governor has to say.
Oh, that's crazy. But think about that type of broad powers. I mean, a lot of people in the chat are saying it's unconstitutional. You know, telling and you gave an example, protests. There are planned protests around here on both sides of the issue, right? They are planning to be here on weekends. I'm hearing it. I was looking for the pallets of bricks that were across from City Hall, but I couldn't find them. That's trending on Twitter, a bunch of bricks. I couldn't find them, but they're anticipating some sort of events that are happening. So with that, if the governor the mayor just feels like these people are a public threat to the community, he can order the police to disperse everybody.
Probably something like that.
What happened to the First Amendment? What about peaceful people? What about peaceful? Like, I mean, at whose discretion if they decide this, like, basically peaceful demonstrations could be declared a public threat?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's very disturbing, to say the least. I mean, we've been here barely 24 hours, little more than 24 hours, and already we've just seen so much strange behavior all over town. Number one, honestly, starting with our live when we got here yesterday with, we went around town and it was like eerily quiet. There was no one around. That was really strange at first. And then we had the encounter over there. Well, not encounter. The lady across the street was like yelling at us at First Diversity.
Somebody said in the chat, I just want to say this. Haitians are there on temporary protective status, legal work permits. Please tell people that JLR investigates. These aren't illegals and the rumors are not true via Vance, Youst, and Dewine. Yeah, we touched on the temporary protective status. I mean, they're here legally. They're allowed to be here. They're here legally. The process allows these individuals to be here. We talked about that extensively, and we continue to say that. The issue here with the 15 to 20,000 Haitians, I mean, they're allowed here, right? They're legally allowed here.
So I mean, that's part of the problem, is that people don't really understand what's happening here. They're only listening to these sensational stories about the pets. But the Haitians that, for the most part, the Haitians, when you hear the 20,000 number, for the most part, they have temporary protected status, which is essentially like a refugee program. They get immediate work authorization. They get a lot of rights that U.S. citizens have, legally speaking, housing. They're able to go get their driver's licenses, things like that. So that's part of the problem, is because it's been portrayed as though these are illegal Haitians, which, I mean, you can either agree or disagree with the fact that they have legal status and how they achieved that legal status. You can agree or disagree with that policy, but that is just reality. They are here legally under these programs. And so the real issue is that there's a lack of resources in the city that's causing so many problems. It's like a domino effect.
But here's one of the things about the emergency powers of the mayor. My concern is somebody will start acting out on the Haitians, and these people are innocent. They're innocent. Yeah. They're innocent in all this, and nobody should be attacked in any way. And you might get some outsiders that might come in and try to take it out on them and start harassing them, or you know what I mean, like you don't want to see that happening at all. These people, they're I mean, it's a powder keg. I think this area is a powder keg waiting to happen.
Yeah, I mean, to be really honest, I have a very bad vibe in this town, and it's everywhere. You feel it everywhere you go. People are very secretive. They don't really want to talk. Like the lady at Love's today, Jonathan was just standing outside making a video, and she ran him off. She doesn't know what our video was about. I mean, I don't.
Well, they might have a policy, no media on their property.
But it was just, but that's
What's
just,
the bus station?
that's
That's
just
where
one
people
layer.
are coming in.
That's just one layer and one instance of many. Not to mention, the van that we saw driving around with no license plate, loaded down with people. It's just, it's very strange what's happening in this town, and the citizens know what's going on. They understand. The citizens across the board pretty much get it, and I think there's a few that maybe act hateful or whatever.
Well,
but I think for the most part, I think most of the citizens understand, and they're just in a bind. They're really just in a really bad situation.
For instance, the media that went in there for that press conference, I seen them beforehand, and they're like out on my live. I could see them look, after they left, but they would come, they would park, they'd go to the press conference, and they leave. And they probably go back to their, Dayton. They probably go back to Columbus or wherever their main office is, and they're not really here to go around and talk to people. They just attend sound bites from politician and just listen to the press conference and air a press conference and then leave. And leave, and I just think it's important to be in an area to understand what really is going on. A part of me is telling me this is all hype. Part of me, because it is quiet as a mouse here. There is some strange stuff going on, but it's also quiet as a mouse. Every city has strange things going on. I could go into any city and I could see people doing weird things on drugs and in the alleys and just weird things. In some communities, cruelty to animals happens, so when we hear an incident of eating a cat or eating a dog, I mean, this is America. You got 320 million personalities, and I'm sure this happens other places too, where people abuse an animal or eat sacrifice a chicken, or I don't know. I mean, these things happen.
Yeah.
But was it strategically to say that? Here's the question is, was it strategically to say the eating the pets to bring light on the other issues here? Like, was that designed that way, so outrageous and crazy to say, hey, because maybe the other stuff in Springfield that's been going on last couple of years, people have been complaining and it hadn't got no national attention. Now that has been said, it's like, whoa, what's going on in Springfield? And then it peels the onion and you uncover more things.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really is. The town, to me, it's just craziness that the mayor of this town himself owns rental properties that he's renting out to Haitians by the cot. And that we talked about this before, those houses, they're getting tax breaks, whatever. They're able to charge more in rents. There's people that have said they've been displaced by their landlords in favor of Haitian migrants because it's much more profitable to rent the house to migrants than it is to citizens because of the way all of these incentives are structured. So to me, it's complete madness that the mayor himself is profiting off of this. It's crazy. And he wrote a letter to Congress asking for more federal aid because of their housing crisis.
Oh yeah, talk about that. That was a letter.
Yeah,
we got a letter that was written. So tell us about this letter.
Well, it was Mayor Rob Rue. He wrote a letter, and it was addressed in Congress, actually by J.D. Vance himself. And J.D. just brought up the fact that, he's saying, yeah, there's a housing crisis, and they're trying to build 5,000 new units, which seems like a really huge task for such a small town, but it's also the schools, the medical facilities, it's all of these things, all these public services that are strained. So yeah, it's just really unbelievable.
Rob Rue, the mayor.
Yeah,
so
Rob Rue.
How many properties does Rue own?
So his Littleton, it's called Littleton Properties. Let me see.
And he owns a funeral home?
Littleton Properties of Springfield, LLC. So that is the company that owns 7 properties. And one little cluster of those properties is the funeral home that he
funeral
owns.
home.
Yeah, and then the other ones are like rental units.
But the rental units are all around the funeral home.
Mm-hmm.
They're all around the funeral home. It's like a square block that this guy owns multiple properties.
Mm-hmm. It's all in the same area there. So, and what's wild about it is that it's not a secret. Like, this is publicly known information. It's been reported by many outlets, including Buckeye Reporter, which is a that's a local news outlet. They just posted this article. What is today? The 19th. They just posted this article 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Special report: renting apartments to Haitians is big business for Springfield Mayor Rob Rue and others. And they go through and just, they're kind of saying the same thing. Like, the Haitian community gained national attention because of these comments made by politicians. But they're saying that they're acknowledging that pretty much all locals, the issue the locals have is actually the strain that they're putting on the city as a whole, not this cat and dog thing that really is just a sideshow. That's not even the story here. So as long as you're focusing on that sideshow, you're not going to see the real story. And that's why I think, they sort of amplified it quite a bit. Pumped it up for different reasons, for different agendas. But it says right here, a few blocks away from Little and Rue Funeral Home, which is the funeral home we were at.
Yeah, we were there checking it out.
A 37-year-old man who introduced himself as Works lives in an apartment and on an estate worth an estimated $1.3 million.
Whoa.
He told Buckeye Reporter that he and other Haitian immigrants reside in properties owned by Rue. So this outlet spoke to some of the people who live in his properties. He owns, altogether, that LLC owns 7 properties, and we know 3 of those parcels, I believe, are directly related to the funeral home, at least 2 of them. And then the rest are these rental units. So, let's see. Mayor Rue is renting out his properties and the public should know. And people are calling on him to recuse himself from any vote on the commission because he directly benefits financially from any federal funds received to support the illegals.
That's what I was going to say. Conflict of interest.
It's just unbelievable.
Like, he has it's a conflict of interest right there, because if you're
it's
housing,
just like a blaring conflict of interest, that it's out in the open. Everyone knows about it too, and no one does anything or says, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe he shouldn't be allowed to profit off.
Well, some of these communities across the country, all across the country, the way their structures work and the way their politicians and the police, they get away with so much stuff because they don't have the light on them. They don't have the spotlight on them, and they just been doing it all these years and making money through contracts and stuff like that, and using their position. I mean, that's, some people in cities get indicted for that.
Yeah, and they do, and it's just kind of amazing that it's overlooked the way it is in these cities. It's really wild, but he's not the only one. It's the mayor. The mayor is one person who's benefiting financially, but it's also that guy we talked about, George 10, who
George 10. Do we have a picture of George 10?
I'm not sure. He owns the First Diversity Staffing Company that
First Diversity
is actually and literally bringing the migrants here and giving them jobs and things like that.
Yeah, George 10. I don't know where.
So he's got a whole bunch of properties, and this outlet, Buckeye Reporter, spoke to a woman who actually lived in one of George 10's properties.
This looks like this is George 10 here.
She's a citizen of Springfield. She lived in one of his homes with her family, and the landlord, George 10, kicked them out so they could move the Haitians in. And this is another thing. There's so many stories like this.
This looks like that's George 10 right there. Because they have the other face. This is a report on George 10. He's under federal investigation?
Allegedly, reportedly, yes.
Reportedly. So there's reports out there. George 10, who's kind of like the architect to what's going on.
Yep.
With multiple properties all over the place.
Yeah, George 10, he owns First Diversity, and he also owns these homes. So he's basically bringing the migrants here, giving them jobs, putting them in a house, and then he also makes money driving them to work, to their jobs.
Him himself
They're charged $25 to get a ride to work in one of those vans like the one we saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the types of vans that they're using to transport them to work or, different places they need to go in town, I guess. Right next door to First Diversity is a general store that we saw that's geared towards the Haitian population. And then we saw right next to that was the New Catholic Charities building.
Yeah, I see a bunch of people in suits up ahead. Might do one quick walk around and see what's going on. Thank you for the insight, Magnolia.
Yep.
So we're going to go for a walk. I'm in downtown. We're going to go for a walk. We're going to go back to City Hall and see who showed up. See what's going on. Thank you, Magnolia. So boots on the ground. Magnolia got the insight. We've been just doing a lot of the research and stuff like that. Trying to figure out what's being said. Now, I'm not... Hello. I don't know what's true or what's not. But it's the information that's out there. This is downtown. This is City Hall. I mean, they got media here. I don't understand the invite for the press conference. How can you invite someone to a press conference? Like media, like select media. Okay, so basically that logic is like, I don't know who the press conference, if it was organized through Dewine, he was speaking, maybe the mayor involved, but they're like, okay, we'll let the New York Times come, we'll let the Washington Post come. Nope, you can't come. We'll let the CBS News come. Nope, you can't come. We'll let ABC, you know what I mean? Like, select people. Like, how does that even make sense? Like, you select the media, but it's like, how does that even make sense? Explain to me how you can just select who you want to cover a press conference. I mean, if it's a press conference, it's a press conference. It should be open to anyone. You know, the Supreme Court says anyone. Anyone with a camera is considered a journalist, actually. All right, let me see. They got the police out there. So this is pretty cool out here. That's a representative for Vivek Ramaswamy. That's one of his works for his campaign. Maybe Vivek is here. Maybe not. So this is a spot here. They come in here. He shook his hand, or shook his head. I don't know what that was about. I don't even know what that was about. Hello. How are you? Now I gotta face the other way. What's going on?
I say don't put me on camera. But I want to give you some other news to investigate that it'll blow your mind.
Really?
Yeah.
I see you're listening to me.
I got trying to follow you. Okay, how about if I pull over like up there if I can find a parking spot?
Yeah, but I can't cut the live stream.
Oh. Okay, it's about John F. Kennedy.
Send me it. Tips.
I don't know how that's
Tips
I
at
don't know
JLR
how.
Investigative.
I have to read
You don't know how to email?
that.
Oh man.
That's why I came down here to show you
Yeah.
about Adam Tier 1.
Yeah.
You think,
Well, I'll be around. You can come catch me when I'm done my live stream.
what time is that?
I'll be here for the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
It's about 4:30.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, where you want me to meet you?
Just stick around here. I'm just wandering around.
Find a parking spot. Okay.
Thanks for watching. Hello, how are you?
I'm all right.
What's your name?
My name's Peyton.
Peyton, where did you see me at? I'm live, YouTube live.
Oh, I saw. I think
How
it
are
was
you?
you.
Hi.
I recognize the shirt. Over there, it was by a club.
Yeah.
We were just pulling in. My parents are members of that club, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the one with the medieval thing. The what is
Knights
that?
in the Yard.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
that is the Machinist Club.
The
It's
Machinist.
been a club here for at least all of my life and all of my parents' lives. It used to be a fire station.
Okay.
And so, you just apply to be a member there, and they do they do drawings, weekly drawings, daily drawings. It's a bar, food spelling party. They do karaoke on Thursday nights. It's just a simple little club.
Got you. So you being a local resident, I'm here in town, born and raised. So I want to know what's going on. There's a lot of attention. So as you being here, like, what is this? What's going on in Springfield? What's all this about? Haitian migrants, this town in general.
Yeah. You're about the fourth person I've talked to about this. I work over here at the Cohatch Market. I got here early, and my boss won't let me clock in, so I'm just wandering around. There's a lot of things going on, but the things that you see on the press aren't exactly the most true unless it's coming from a Springfield citizen. Like the cats and dogs thing. I mean, oh my gosh, the sun. I mean, it's not.
You want to sit face there?
Oh, no,
Yeah, you can face there.
So
You don't have to face the sun.
So the thing with the cats and dogs is very much not true, at least in Springfield. Now, I know that there's viral body cam footage that has gone around of like the lady, and it's like, why'd you, God, that video, that took place in Canton. So it doesn't mean
Canton?
that's, yeah, Canton, Ohio, that's north of us.
Okay.
That way. But just because it's not happening in Springfield doesn't mean it's not happening. And I'm not for or against anything that's going on. It's part of their culture. But my thing with it is they came to America, and all of the like social justice warriors of Springfield are just like, but we have to adapt to their culture. No, they came to America. So they should probably adapt to American culture to the best of their abilities. Yes, we can embrace different things about it. It's a great time. We're a very welcoming community. And I just think that all the hatred is spewing from stress. We had hundreds upon thousands of Haitians just dropped on us out of nowhere. And it's stressful because we don't have the resources. Our population is struggling as it is. And now there's just violence and hurt and hate going on, and it's just really scary.
Like violence. Like, what do you mean by violence? Like, what's going on?
Well, Springfield's always been a pretty violent city. I'm not gonna lie about that. At least certain parts. Like downtown is like our neutral area where everybody's kind of on the same level and we're all pretty chill. But if you go just down the street that way, drugs, guns, rape, nightmares. Down that way, drugs, guns, rape, nightmares. Now up north of the city is where all the rich people live, where all the nice people, all of the people who make money live. The east side is also a more neutral part of town. It just depends on who you are. But it's just, we've always been a pretty violent town, and now that we've got all these people dropped on us who come from a country, there we go, that's the word. They come from a country that is already spewed with violence. I mean, as far as I'm aware, their leader is literally a gang leader.
Barbecue?
Yes, dude.
Barbecue. We were talking
I'm sorry,
about barbecue.
What on? Please get your life together. When my friend said that their leader's name was Barbecue, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. But, so they come from a country that is spewed with violence as it is. So they're obviously going to come and bring more violence, because fight fire with fire, it just doesn't go very well. And, you know, Haiti doesn't have a lot of cars, so all of the car crashes, they're just coming here.
Is there a lot of
like,
car crashes here?
yeah, no matter what people are going to tell you, because there have been news articles that come out saying that Springfieldians are crazy, that the crash rate hasn't gone up. It has gone up. As a new driver myself, I've had a permit for a few years, but just haven't had the chance to get my license. It's scary being on the road. My foot is constantly on that brake. My hands are gripping that wheel, because you just never know. And usually I have a way of telling who's a Haitian driver and who isn't. You can tell by the model, make and model, and year of the car.
What are they? What are the make and models of the car?
Newer cars, BMWs, Volkswagens, just nice.
They're driving around in nice cars?
Nice cars!
How are they getting nice cars?
That's my question. And they're flipping these cars over at 15 miles an hour. The physics and math just don't make sense for that at all. How are you, like a car was flipped yesterday on the bridge over there.
I saw that on social media.
How? How does that it doesn't compute in my tiny little brain. And they're taking our houses. That's another thing. Our homeless population has skyrocketed. Actually, as I was coming here, there's a guy standing on the corner over there with a sign. Because, you know, the homeless population. Now the thing is with our Springfield population, our homeless population, you'll never see a Haitian standing on the street with a sign. Not in the 3 years that they've started popping up. I've seen Mexican families, I've seen Indian families, I've seen families of all races, but I will never see a Haitian that isn't well dressed, at least to the best of whatever they have.
Well, why do you think that? Like, why?
There is a guy. I don't know who it is. I don't know his name. But as far as I know, there is a guy who is renting out.
Let's walk up here just a minute, because I'm going to eye right here by the door, because there's some people coming in and out. I just want to make sure.
Oh, yeah. This is City Hall. Stuff happens here. I was actually heading in here because I have a family member who works here, so I just kind of hang out in here sometimes. But there's a guy who's renting out cots. Like, he's going out and buying cots. He's got 24 Haitians living in a house right now. No one knows
Where's that at?
I don't know. This is hearsay. I don't know for sure, but it sounds pretty credible based off past things. $250 a cot. He's going out and buying cots for, like, and it's just taking housing for us. I can't move out of my parents' house until all of this is blown over. The welfare office is a nightmare because they're taking all of our benefits without really working for them. There are working Haitians, and I'll give those guys props because they're super cool. We've got a couple working in Cohatch, and they're really nice, and I love them to death. I've had friends at school who are Haitian, and you know, they're just super cool people, but there is that group that ruins it for everyone.
Yeah.
It's the same for fandoms, it's the same for different things. Like, Springfield is known as a city of crime because of that small group of people who put the name on the city. That's what it is, and people don't seem to really understand that, and I don't know why, and it bothers me. One thing that does really bother me, though, is they have 21-year-olds at Springfield High School amongst 14 to 16-year-old children.
21-year-olds in school?
In Springfield High School.
Are they lying about their age to get an education, or what's that about?
I'm not sure what it is, because I know that Ohio has a law where you can go to high school and get a real high school diploma up until, I think 22 is the cutoff. But I don't think you can just enroll and then immediately be in freshman class as a 21-year-old. Like, I don't think that's possible. And the only reason I know that there's 21-year-olds at the high school, you'd think this is rumors, is because I had one text me before. I had someone add me on Snapchat, and I was like, oh, they say that it says they're class of blah, blah, blah at SHS. And I was like, cool. Added them, immediately started hitting on me. And I was like, well, pause. How old are you? And he was like, 21. And I was like, huh. Love that for you. You know you're in a building full of minors, right? And, you know, they're hitting on the 14 and 16-year-olds at the high school. It's just getting to be a really big problem. And I'm just worried because I have friends who go to the high school who are nowhere near graduated yet. I just graduated this year. But it's just a little worrisome because if my friends get backed into the wrong corner, or people I know, or things that happen, I mean, I've got siblings who go to high school. If just wrong place, wrong time, it just wouldn't be a good time. And it would spread more hate. And it's just, it just bothers me as a resident.
Thank you so much for sharing this insight. And it's always good to hear from different people. A lot of people have a lot of opinions. Value what you just said.
Yeah.
What's your name again?
Peyton.
Peyton. How old are you?
18.
18. So this is Peyton, 18-year-old. And she's seeing the issues here. What do you think a solution would be?
As much as I hate to say it, just stop babying the Haitians, because that's part of the problem, is that our government is like cradling them in their arms, handing them all the benefits that they could be handing to real struggling, impoverished people. And I'm not saying that they're not real struggling, impoverished people too, but it's just a different league. And I think that we need to stop babying them. If they want to be American citizens, treat them like American citizens. And, you know, people are crying that they're here legally. They're really not. They're here on protected status. It takes years to be legalized in America to get that green card. So they're technically not. And it's just a little worrisome that, you know, just people are being brainwashed by the media to, like, want to protect these people who are causing so much harm. And then there's also the people who, like, genuinely get what's going on, who are being attacked. I mean, I've had my friends attack me over personal stuff that I, like, have done my research on and have, like, it's just a whole thing. It's a little worrisome.
Thank you, Peyton. Thank you.
course.
Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. You got like 6,000 people watching. JLR
yeah.
Investigates. Check it out later.
JR Investigates.
Yeah.
Look
Take a
that
picture of
up.
the hat. If you take a picture of the hat, you'll find it.
Nice.
Thank you, Peyton.
Thank you.
You have a good day. Be safe.
I would certainly try. I'm gonna walk this thing.
Yeah, there might be something going on here. We're going to see what's going on in this area. I think they're anticipating Vivek Ramaswamy. This is his person. Somebody works on his team here. And some media people are out here. So we're going to see what's going on.
Yeah, just I feel like we're probably gonna do like 3 to 5 minutes for everybody, so that should get you just yeah. Sorry. Cool. No, that's fine. Yeah. Don't know. Yeah, it's really not that important. I'm just doing it courtesy.
So I think former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be here in just a second. That guy with the suit without hair, he's works for his campaign, and I think media are out here. Maybe he'll come out here to see what he has to say about the issue. I'm just gonna sit around here and wait, because it seems like media has kind of came outside here. Do you know who's arriving here? What's going on?
I'm curious to find out, though. If anybody has any but a little bit of power, they now need to have a talk for a minute.
Yeah. This is City Hall, folks. Something's going on out here. So we'll wait and see what's going on. Come on in, JLR Investigates. Out and about. Always good to hear from people on this matter. Well, if Vivek comes out here, I'll definitely try to ask a question. If you could ask Vivek Ramaswamy a question, what would you ask him? What would you ask him? I think he's going to be coming out here giving a press conference because the media has set up some tripods. There's people are here. He might even be here, but he's going to have a town hall meeting in a few hours. So if you could ask him a question, what would you ask him? This is a former presidential candidate. You could ask a question, what would you ask? Somebody said go away. Tell him to go away. Tell him to go away. Ask him what side he is really on. We all know the answer already. I'm gonna step out here and see out here what's going on. We're just waiting to see who arrives here. I'm out here at the City Hall. City Hall. We're just waiting and see. So we'll see what's going on. JLR Investigates. Come on in, everyone. We are at City Hall in Springfield, Ohio, covering this situation. A lot of opinions, a lot of takes on this. When's the man coming?
Trying to find out.
Is he already inside or is he outside?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. right, so he's inside, so he's just waiting for him to come out. He's probably going to talk out here. We'll hear what he has to say. So he's in here, so we'll see what he's inside here, so he's coming out. See what he has to say. Come on in. JLR investigates. Boots on the ground. We're waiting for Vivek Ramaswamy. I actually never seen him in person, so well, I am going to ask him a question. I have a question for him. He's got questions, and if he doesn't answer questions, I'll ask him when he's walking away. We got a question. We got a question. So let's wait to a bake. Come on in, JLR investigates. We're here. Ask him if he thinks we should be the world's keepers. Community's on edge a little bit here, it seems like. Oh yeah, you answered the question. He probably watches JLR Investigates. A lot too. You'd be surprised at the politicians that watch this channel, particularly the border coverage.
Idiots spouting words that are stupid. Actually talk to people about the real problem. It's immigration. We speak about people take some. Everybody keeps doing that.
I don't know, some guy over there is cussing. Sometimes these topics bring out a lot of tension. Really strong opinions. Yeah, the lady that I was supposed to talk to, she's watching. She understands. I'm out here waiting. Smile, we're on camera. JLR investigates. We are on camera. Come on in. Thank you, Captain Jenks. Thank you for the support. Everyone's support helps us get to these locations to find out what in the world is going on. We're just waiting. We are just... Oh, yeah. Hello? Hi, Diana. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I saw you all the time, man. You actually probably come to me.
Nice. We're going to see what's going on here, and I'll talk to you in a bit, Diana.
I think I'm going to get down and get in line here
Where are you going in line for?
for the, are they going to
Oh, is it, where's this event at?
It's at the Bushnell building.
Where's that at?
So it's that big 12 building right over here.
Gotcha. Oh, right over there?
Yes.
Right that, building.
So, not that one, the one next to it.
Gotcha.
Okay?
And what time is that, 6:30?
It's supposed to 6:30, but they told us to line up to be what it is to get in.
Gotcha. Is that what you're attending? Gotcha. I see you got a crew. I see you got a crew of people with you.
That's my posse.
Thanks for the support. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go in later. It's at like 6:30. Me and Magnolia planned to go in. It was on Eventbrite, I believe. At that point, you get tickets. I mean, you know, we're not a political channel, folks. We're not a political channel. I just want to emphasize that. What we do, you know, when there is issues dealing with certain communities and stuff like that, and certain politicians speak, we will listen and cover. But we don't promote any political candidate on JLR Investigation. We don't promote anyone. We just cover. We try to actually keep out of politics, but this is a national interest, and that's why a lot of you guys are in here. So if it was any politician that was here that walked out of this building right here and was going to speak, we'll listen and we'll ask questions. Some people refer to this as political, this issue. Jonathan, the sheriff just shot the judge in the courthouse. It's in Letcher County, Kentucky, Whitesburg, Kentucky. Yes, Magnolia sent me that information. Thank you, Crystal. Yeah, she sent it to me in the chat. You know, praying for whatever the situation is in there. Wild stuff coming out of Kentucky. Once again, another Kentucky shooting. Sheriff just shot the judge. I mean, you don't get more crazy than that. Sheriff just shot the judge in Kentucky. Sheriff reportedly in custody after shooting in courthouse. Officials say Sheriff Mickey Steins has been arrested following a shooting in Letcher County Courthouse. He shot a district judge named Kevin Mullins in the office. What in the world is going on there? How does a sheriff shoot a judge? That's wild. Wild West stuff coming out of Kentucky. Manhunts, deputies shot. It just keeps happening and happening. I mean, we were in Kentucky the other day, and we rescued and saved an 80-year-old man that flipped his truck on the side of the road out there in the Daniel Boone National Forest. And we rolled up on him and literally pulled him out of his truck. Pretty wild in Kentucky. Great people, nice people. But you can't make that up, man. You know, a sheriff shoots a judge? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah, so there is some heavy police presence there. We're waiting for Mr. Ramaswamy.
I spoke to some years ago.
We are live at City Hall, folks. And as some people are coming in, the mayor has a emergency declaration for Springfield, Ohio, here in Springfield.
Because you're arguing about masks, it's trash out there and trash. But yet everybody won't.
We got a couple videos out earlier today. Some vans running around in the community without plates. We are live at City Hall. Now, there's more media coming, so I'm assuming that this thing might start at 5 p.m. I'm assuming that this thing might start at 5 p.m. People are saying, why are so many people in Springfield? It's just a national interest case right now. So we're going to be in Springfield for a few days at least, possibly through the weekend. Let's see what's going on.
She is 17 and she drives within the city streets every day. And that's just, it's a major concern with all of the accidents that continue to keep happening in the area that she travels every day. So we've tried to give her options of different roadways to take and different ways to go. Pretty much other than that, that's just, Diana's pretty much covered everything for us. And that's really just the concern of the city is the major safety.
What do you want to hear in this movie?
That they're going to fix the issues.
I heard the governor said he's going to send state troopers.
We've had the state troopers here for about 3 days now. They're actually at a lot of the schools because of all the threats and everything that have been going on. And protecting the kids in the classroom, the dogs sniffing around the buildings. And so sort in that sense, just to make sure there are no problems or no issues. As a community, we wish the threats would stop.
Just the kids have not been able to go to school.
Our kids have not been able to go to school. And the threats are, they're just ridiculous.
Where are they coming from?
They're saying they're coming from overseas. We don't know. We don't know. I believe many people in the community don't believe that. But, you know, we feel that our commissioners do have our safety in hand. So we will give them that.
But did this really started after the debate or did this start before?
This all started after Donald Trump and J.D. Vance brought attention to the situation by their comment.
It started before that.
the whole issue with the accidents.
Well, yes,
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yes.
The whole
It's been going on
issue.
for a year.
Now the threats just started recently, but it's been at least a year. The accidents, just the accident. I haven't been in an accident. My insurance rates went up. Everybody's insurance rates are going up. There's probably 8 to 10 accidents a day. There was a huge bus accident. You know about
I know
that.
about
That
that.
happened in front of our house. You know, it's
Just close to your house.
It was
It's
in our
in
front
front
yard.
of our house.
It was directly across the street from both of our homes.
When
Yes.
the neighborhood was.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, we were one of the first ones there. Nobody wants to see that.
So, are you?
I also have a daughter that drives, so that's my main concern every day. I don't like to drive around here anymore.
Are you happy that this is now receiving national attention?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I think this all should have been dealt with before it got to this point. They knew that they were sending this many here. There should have been plans in place to justify all of that. You know, the housing crisis, the driving and accidents, the overwhelming population of kids in school. There's not enough teachers. That should have all been dealt with before they arrived here.
The sad part is we've made this a Republican Democrat issue,
And it's not.
and that is not what it is.
And they've made it a racist issue, and it is not.
This is a United States of America issue. It doesn't matter what color you are, what race you are, where you come from, what city, what state. It's a problem, and it needs fixed.
The population has been growing too.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's exactly what it is. You know, I heard on the radio on the way over here that there's another town in Ohio that got 3,000. We could probably deal with 3,000. 20,000, 30,000 is not feasible for a little city of this size.
How quickly did they? How fast did this change? Like, how? Sorry, did that many come in? Like, how many years?
Oh, I would say probably just within the last year.
Well, they're saying that it's been a 4-year process, but we honestly have not noticed the influx until this
Right.
past 9 months. And it just was like it was night and day, just out of nowhere.
This is my last question. I mean, these people have come here because there are a lot of jobs, right? Somebody needs to fill those jobs. Would there be locals who could do those jobs?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But they're not applying. But why?
The
did
problem is they tell the locals there are no jobs. The locals apply for the jobs and they're told there are no positions at these companies.
That? Really?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So have you been raising that with the employers?
I have not personally. I don't know what other people are doing and if other people have brought that to light and brought that to the attention. But a couple of the companies that are involved in the whole process and the whole situation, you will go online and you will find that there are no job postings for those
Right.
companies.
And it's not just jobs and housing. You know, I'm sure you've heard the medical side of it. I currently have custody of a 1.5-year-old baby, and I've been trying to get into WIC to get some assistance with women, infants, and children, and they help with formula and food for children under 5. And you can't get in down there. Even if you have, even if you have an appointment, you can't get in down there. You can't get into Job and Family Services for any type of assistance. I know somebody that's been down there every day for the last 3 months and can't get in.
Can I ask your names too?
My name is Kim
Last name?
Harris.
Hear me? Phillips.
Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
We're not going to get in. Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you. Follow-up question.
Sure.
I'm just
May I
going to
ask you
take
a
Sarah.
follow-up
Yes.
question? One of the things that I'm surprised by is it seems that national press outlets and even public officials, whether it's the governor or the mayor, continue to do what I think is gaslighting the community.
Absolutely.
I think the Haitians are victims. I think
Yes.
there's a
Yes, they are.
victimization
They are.
of the residents here. And that seems to be the full story that nobody wants to tell. Why do you think that is?
I personally feel it all falls back to race. They're afraid to really confront the truth because they're afraid they will be considered racist to face the issues.
Do you think it goes deeper than that? Do you think there are people benefiting from this?
Absolutely.
There are absolutely
Yes.
people benefiting.
I do
And that's-
truly believe that.
Yes, there are absolutely people benefiting. It goes way deeper than we realize, and it goes way deeper than their pockets. And I think the thing is, they're just now starting to find that out. And they've now put themselves in a bad position because they did not want to believe the citizens who've been looking into this and been highly involved for the past 9 months.
That's like the other day when the governor did his interview, and we're thinking, you know, something's going to come out of it, and nothing came out of it. It was more money to teach them to drive, more money to help them speak English, more money for them housing. That's not what needs to happen.
Do you think the way that it's being dealt with creates more tension?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
How do you fix it? How would you fix it if you were the governor, if you were the mayor, if you had the control? How would you fix it?
Well, I will say that a couple of us have mentioned way back in the beginning, hey, let's get a group of 15, 20 people from each side. Let's sit down. Let's have an awesome round table once a month, twice a month. Let's work together.
And stop treating it like it's not a problem.
Right. Let's welcome
It is
them
a
to our
problem.
computer. You know,
Let's talk about it as a problem and deal with it and see what solutions we can come up with.
Right. We're
Instead
not
of
we're not
brushing
here to
it
hate
under
on
the
these
rug.
people. We're
Yeah.
really not. They were thrown in a very bad situation also. And it's not fair to them just as well as it isn't fair to the people of this community.
Thank you both.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
One more question.
Okay.
Your,
I was staying away from the camera today.
your take on the mayor.
You know, here's my thing with the mayor. Rob was a good friend for many, many years. I still would consider Rob a friend. But I do not agree with the way that things are being handled in our community right now.
Absolutely.
I feel Rob really needs to take the time to listen to the people that were his friends and
He needs
understand
to
what they
listen
have to say.
Everybody.
Yes.
He needs to listen to all of the Springfield citizens, not just 2 minutes at the city council.
Yeah, our 3 minutes and thank you. We're beyond 3 minutes and thank you.
And if they don't like what you're saying, you get cut off and asked to leave. That can't handle anything. That doesn't fix anything. Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
I could have asked them more questions. They had to go. So we are awaiting Ramaswamy, who'll be out here shortly. He's inside the building. He's maybe speaking to the mayor in there or officials in there. I am in downtown Springfield covering this issue right here, national issue that's very polarizing, very divisive. You know, there's a lot of people that have a lot of different opinions about this situation. Mostly dealing with the influx of Haitian migrants that have came to the city of Springfield in the last few years, and they're saying 15 to 20,000, and residents. It seems like a lot of residents around here don't like the situation and they're very concerned. There are also residents that are welcoming and approve of them coming. So, like yesterday down there, we were live outside it looked like a protest against hate. It had about 100 people. So, you know, we are here just monitoring and seeing what's going on and seeing this area become a ground zero on a lot of issues. Ground zero. This must be city employees. Thank you for coming in. JLR Investigates. Me and Magnolia are boots on the ground. There has been a emergency declaration declared here by the mayor. MTT EXG. Citizens warned them in past meetings it's going to get worse. Crystal Brown and Root dared citizens by asking, "What's that look like?" Well, here we go. Thank you for the comment. So the take of that comment is seems like the mayor didn't take this serious I mean, I think there is a serious issue here. Folks, when you declare emergency declaration, which we shared what that consists of, and we came up with theories what that means, that's a big deal when you have that. It's a big, big deal when you have that in a community when there's a more or less a state of emergency for a particular town due to the bomb threats, Haitian crisis, Haitian migrants, combination of things. And we're here seeing what's going on firsthand. Reporting live from Springfield. I think that
I made it to
employees are leaving.
Is that okay?
Interview the factory workers. Yeah, we plan to interview as many people as possible. Anyone that wants to talk, you can reach out. Tips@JLR Investigates. We'll arrange a spot where you can come out and meet and talk on the record. You can email us a lot off the record if you want to speak off the record and share. We'd love to hear from residents. I mean, to understand what's going on, it's important to hear from people that actually live here. Should we believe the mainstream media that, what they put out about what is going on here, or should we go to ground zero and see for ourselves? Should we believe what the media is putting out there, or should we come to the scene and see for ourselves? I say come to the scene. Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. I can say being here, I haven't seen one animal get eaten. Somebody in chat said, I want more van chasing. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's weird that vans are running around picking people up full in vans with temp tags. How long temp tags? Isn't there like something like if you have a van, you only can have a temp tag on a certain amount of time? And I'm wondering about the vans, without the license plates, because the vans don't have license plates on them, and temp tags on the back of the van. See two of them that are obscured or folded over. I think that's a big deal, because technically you're not allowed to go long term running around on temp tags, So who knows how long these vans and who's driving these vans? I say it's 30 days. You have 30 days to. Most states it's like 30 days. You have 30 days to have a temp plate. Then you got to actually get a license plate. Well, there's vans rolling around here in temp tags that are like folded up, and that could be also be a sign for law enforcement to say, okay, that's the vans, we're not going to bother. They might have an arrangement with city officials or with the police department saying, don't pull over the vans with the temp tags. They're cool, leave them alone, kind of deal, Don't know that. Don't know. I'm just speculating on that point. But I do think temp tags on vans, running around transporting people in this situation is fishy, in my opinion. Temp tags in Ohio, 45 days. Thank you for the information. What's that? Gaijin Bear? Gaijin Bear? Gaijin Bear. Corporations are required to publish jobs on the state unemployment site. Did the companies publish these jobs? How many jobs were there? Is there a legal issue here? Thank you for the comment. You guys have a lot of great questions about these jobs and these companies. A lot of great questions, folks. A lot of great questions. We're just walking around waiting for Mr. Ramaswamy to come out. Could be out here shortly. I believe 5 p.m. So it's after 5. It's 5:07. He also has an event at 6:30. I'll just take a walk here. Just walk and wait. The buildings around here are not necessarily big. This might be one of the biggest buildings here. Looks like it's maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe like 10 stories, something like that. All right, police went in, so I'm gonna see what's going on. Here, I'll get it. What do you got?
Well, since you're not done filming, I try to write some stuff down. And she was going to get done too much to sign it.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so I met up with the nice lady that we spoke to before. She gave me some stuff written down. Yes, there's a pressure going on there.
I'll set it up just because I don't.
I'm just waiting to see what's up. Live at City Hall. JLR investigates live at City Hall. He works for the campaign. So he's been texting. I do not watch mainstream media news. Sometimes I see what they're saying as far as clip-wise, but overall, no. I do monitor the type of stuff they put out, but I don't sit on my couch or anywhere just watching mainstream media as a source of information. I think the best available source actually of information is Twitter. I think Twitter in real time, people will clip what mainstream media is putting out there in clips, and you get clips and sound bites, and and then you can do your own investigation more into that, whatever the story is, whatever the narrative is. Twitter to me is a gold mine, because Twitter tells you about an activating event in real time. You can just keep refreshing and refreshing, and
600 people.
I mean, that's
in the
pretty
tech
much.
part. And most of
I
them
don't.
are
I don't.
super-
I don't necessarily watch YouTube very much. Probably because I'm too busy streaming on YouTube. I like Twitter. I think Twitter's great, and I'm very grateful. I'll be honest. I'm very grateful that Elon Musk gave me my account back. I was on Twitter for years, and then a couple of years ago they kicked me off the platform, really with no explanation whatsoever. And I don't really say anything crazy on Twitter, and I lost my account. It kept appealing, never got the account back. And then when Elon Musk bought Twitter, and they were, I guess, advertising that future accounts, unless you did something egregious, you just apply again, and ask to reactivate your account, and you get it. And lo and behold, I did that, and within a couple of days, boom, your account was back. My account was back, and I was very, very grateful for that. Because I do think Twitter is a good tool, a good way to get the message out, and a good platform to be able to, because, if you don't like particular people on a platform, there's a block button. Push the block button. There's a lot of personalities that don't like Twitter. You just block. Or I don't even block. I just listen and see what they say and just keep it scrolling. But I don't think anyone should be deplatformed unless you do something very egregious or promote hate or some sort of craziness. But opinions and everything like that, why should you be deplatformed? I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm glad where Twitter's at right now. And I use that a lot. A lot of times when I'm not on YouTube, I'll come up on, I'll be up on Twitter, making tweets. Go through Magnolia though before I tweet out something. Sometimes I say stuff and maybe I have a little bit of regret, so Magnolia kind of reels me in a little bit and authorizes what I should tweet out. Press that tweet button. I'm not the type of guy who likes to erase things. So I say, is this okay? Can I tweet this? Is this okay, Magnolia? Can I tweet this? Yeah, she has a lot of experience. Magnolia's the Project Veritas. In her past in Project Veritas, investigative journalism. So she's a pro. She's a pro and she helped JLO investigate and grow as a team. That's why we're boots on the ground. Magnolia has a network. Magnolia has a network of connects, sources all over the place on almost every topic. We have sources everywhere. We got a lot of sources now here too, boots on the ground. All right, it's coming out. It'll be coming out. It looks like Mr. Ramaswamy will be out shortly, probably coming down the elevator. There you are. We were waiting for you there. We were waiting for you there.
Good to see everybody. We wanted to invite everyone to the event tonight as well. I will tell you that we're in the middle of meetings. I'm going to head up for another set of meetings now. I learned a lot from the meeting we just had. I met with Haitian community leaders. The mayor and city officials were kind enough to convene. I spoke to them by phone over the last few days. I wanted to hear everybody's perspectives in advance of and at the town hall tonight. And I have to say, I was really grateful for the time that some of these Haitian community leaders took today. We spent about an hour together hearing each of their stories. One of the things that struck me most that we missed in the national narrative is how many of these migrants actually left their kids, as in their kids are still in Haiti who they haven't seen for a matter of years. And I don't care whether you're on the left or the right. I'm a father of two sons. That's a painful story to hear. And, one of the questions I asked them is the 4 individuals I met with were people with impressive and daunting stories and who have made, who have worked hard to make contributions after coming here. But I shared with them the open question to me is how representative that really is of the broader experience of Haitian migrants to not only Springfield, but mass migration to the United States. I invited them to come tonight. I hope they do. They didn't commit to coming, but they said that they would consider it after what I think was a very positive and constructive conversation that we had. I'm heading back up to meet with several city officials, continuing to having come here, learn as much as I can about what's actually happening on the ground. I'm a deep skeptic of swallowing media narratives, and part of my reason for being here was to see for myself and talk to different members of the community to really understand not only what's happening, but what we can actually do to address it. And so I will certainly at the start of the town hall tonight share some of my perspectives on what I do think is a path forward here. But my goal isn't to preach to the community. My goal is to actually share my perspective as honestly as I can, but also to hear from hopefully hundreds of people who will be attending the event tonight. So I'll take a couple of questions and then we'll see the rest of you at the event.
What do you hope to accomplish by your visit here today?
I hope to achieve unity in a sense of solidarity in the community, not because everyone's going to agree on everything. That doesn't happen in America. It never has. It never will. But I do think that people long to be heard. And I do sense that there is a 360 degrees around the table in this community, a sense that the voices of ordinary people aren't being heard, but the voices of the narratives imposed on their experience is being heard. And so my goal tonight is, number 1, to give people in this community a sense of actually being heard. Number 2 is actually to hear them. And number 3 is to think about positive, constructive paths forward. I think a lot of people are angry. I think a lot of people are angry for understandable reasons. But I think that one of the best ways that we achieve peace in our country is actually through open dialogue. That's a core conviction of mine. I think the path to peace in America runs through free speech and even open dialogue and even debate. And I hope we'll have some of that tonight. That's the goal of my visit.
Is the mayor happy that you're here, or the mayor has talked about?
He seemed very. I mean, you should ask him, but I will tell you, he certainly expressed gratitude for our approach to this visit, and I think we've had constructive conversations already, and I'm going to go up for one more set of meetings.
Do you believe the claims about eating pets are false?
So I'm going to say this at the start of the event tonight. I'm not here to talk about the issues that the media has really loved to obsess over, okay? Cats and dogs, we're not talking about that tonight. We're talking about human beings, actually. We're talking about human beings who have been affected in this community and what we can do to help those human beings. I'm also going to share with, I was going to mention it tonight, but I'll say a word about it now. I posted on Saturday evening when I felt moved to come here. We didn't have any plan or arrangement, but I said I want to go to Springfield, and then this event was built around that. I will tell you that one of my goals was also to be helpful in this visit. The mayor and other city officials have asked for help in the community. I'm not in public office, but I have lived the American dream, and I expressed a desire to want to make a charitable contribution to an organization that was helpful in addressing some of the most pressing issues on the ground. I've talked to state officials across the state, talked to city leaders in the last several days. I spoke to Governor Dewine. One of the things I learned is that primary care and the strain on the primary healthcare system has actually been one of the most difficult issues this city is actually facing. Turns out I tried to figure out who was actually doing good work in that regard, and it was one local C3 that we identified to which I offered or certainly a member of my team offered a major six-figure donation that our family wanted to help support. And one of the issues we ran into, to my shock, was that for whatever reason they were unwilling to accept that. And it was just another example. I, for a moment was rather annoyed and upset about that, but it again made me curious about the ways in which it's not a left-wing or right-wing issue, but often bureaucracy just gets in the way of doing what's right for a community as well.
Do you think that President Trump should come here? Do you think that President Trump should come here?
I think more open dialogue is actually going to be good and conciliatory for this community and our country in the long run. So that's uncomfortable at times. But we had a great experience just for an hour with the Haitian leaders who gathered. I will be honest, at the beginning of the meeting, we had, I would call it a slower start, a cautious start to the meeting. But by the end of it, we were all speaking very candidly to one another. And I shared my perspective. I asked them point blank, right? One of my favored immigration policies is that if you're going to be reliant on the welfare state or government assistance, and that's likely to be the case if you're entering this country, you should not be permitted to enter this country. And I asked them, what's your perspective on that? And actually, one of the things that surprised me, maybe I shouldn't have been surprised, but one of the things that surprised me was that everyone in that room agreed with me on that. That was something that wouldn't have happened if we didn't actually have what I thought was a raw discussion with each other, that we emerged with an agreement that I didn't expect. And so to the extent that my visit here and President Trump's visit here and really any other public figure who's earnestly interested in addressing these problems visits here opens up the kind of dialogue that we're not able to have in this country, yes, I do think that's going to be a good thing in moving us forward.
What do you think the media is getting wrong in their coverage of Springfield? Critical media.
Yeah, so my goal is not to just be critical of media, but I was critical of media. So I think that there is a temptation, social media included, but traditional media included as well, to pick on some fringe aspect of a really important discussion. So when people are exchanging heated thoughts about an important subject affecting Americans, they're going to say things in a way that wasn't practiced, rehearsed, or tested through consultant vetting and filters. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's better that we make mistakes of saying maybe too much that's raw rather than self-censoring and saying too much. And I think the media in this particular case has latched on to some fringe elements of that discussion, right? Some side topics that really are not close to the most important issue here, and have used that to sweep under the rug actual real challenges created by not small, but mass migration to this community. I mean, you think about the census, I'm going to get it by round numbers, but give or take, 50,000 people. That's expanded by as much as 20,000 people of just Haitian migrants in a very short period of time. You have a poverty rate in this community that is about double the national average. You have rises in communicable diseases, at least reported rises even in diseases like HIV, tuberculosis, that are really concerning and straining healthcare resources. You have schools and social services that have been strained. That is real. That's not an issue that you can sweep under the rug just by focusing on airlifting some word that someone said and pretend like that's the real story, while actually failing to focus on the actual real story. And so that's one of my goals from this visit.
Did J.D. Vance and Donald Trump actually begin that?
Well, I will say this, is that this has been an issue in this community, the issues I just talked about, the strain on social services, rise in communicable diseases, the lack of integration of people who came to this community, to a community that was not prepared to integrate them, could not have been expected to be prepared to integrate them as a consequence of federal policies that nobody was talking about for a really long time. And in the last 2 weeks, we are talking about them. Maybe not in exactly the way that will help solve the problem yet, but I hope that now this will move us to a stage in the dialogue where we will get actual constructive solutions, including those that came out of my discussion with the Haitian community leaders earlier. I'm headed back up to talk to the city officials now. I'd love to hear other ways that people like myself can actually be helpful in addressing problems that aren't actually being addressed. And I hope that the discussion that we have tonight, I have no idea how this is going to go. I've heard all kinds of things about the kinds of RSVPs we've been getting and what expectations we can have. But I hope we get people who share diverse ranges of views that are just interested in having a respectful, courteous, open, honest dialogue. And if we do, then I'm confident that is going to be a step forward in reaching the right solutions. And I'm here to play my part in doing it the way that I think is going to be best, not just for this community. The last thing I'll say, I'll take one last question.
Accusations of Haitians eating pets is what started all of this. And there are many, many Haitians who are fearful for their lives. What is your message to them? And should Donald Trump and J.D. Vance stop talking about that? Because they're still using...
Look, with due respect, I think the core issue is the strain on this community from the effects of mass migration, and that's true in cities across this country. But you asked for my message to Haitians, and if I may add, to non-Haitians alike in Springfield. Of the 70,000 people who are in this community, and by the way, it's a community that's near and dear to my heart. It's not random that I'm here. I spent a lot of time here as a kid. I live less than an hour away. I grew up about an hour away. So this is near and dear to me as well. To the people who live here right now, I think that the struggles this community is facing is not the fault of the 70,000 people who are here. That includes the people who are native born here. That include the Haitian migrants who are here. I'm firm in my conviction of that. I'm also equally firm in my conviction that it is the fault of failed federal policies that I believe are callous to cities like Springfield across the country, and we have an obligation to fix those federal policies without sweeping these issues under the rug. And I think that's what makes it particularly important to discuss ahead of the presidential.
What are those failed?
What are those? The mayor's time. He's carved out time. I also wanted to be respectful of all of you who wanted to have this conversation ahead of tonight. We're going to have an in-depth conversation tonight. I'm grateful that all of you have taken an interest in it. I'm going to finish my meeting with the mayor and the other city officials.
What are the failed policies? What are the failed federal policies? What are the failed policies?
We'll talk about it. I think TPS and the way it's applied. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll try to get in a question. That's what I was exactly going to ask him about. He made a recent tweet saying that he doesn't blame the migrants or he doesn't blame this local officials, but he blames a lawless failed federal policies. So that's I wanted to get a follow-up. Like, what are those failed federal policies? So that's what everybody was out here waiting for. He's here. He's in there talking to local officials, and then he's going to go in and have a town hall meeting. But I'm out here, and now everyone's leaving. Everyone's scattered. Everyone is leaving. So.
He's signing it.
Okay.
I want to know what the failed policies are, because we got to get to the root of the problem. If he says that they're failed federal policies, what are the actual policies? Or what are they? All right, so this is the situation out here. JLR investigates out here, City Hall. All right, so what I'm going to do is we've been on for 2 hours, so I'm going to go take a break and then go to this town hall meeting and see what's going on. And I'll be live streaming from inside the town hall meeting. I'm going in just to see, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching this particular coverage here. Boots on the ground, Springfield, Ohio. Trying to get an understanding of what's going on here. We'll continue to do our reports, continue to find out what we uncover in the process and share it with all of you. We want to get the truth out. We want to hear from all sides. We are a non-political channel. We want to hear. So if you have something to say that we're not saying correctly, tips at JLR Investigates, love to hear from you. We want to get the truth out. We want to understand what is going on in here in Springfield. So we'll talk soon. Thanks for watching, everyone. JLR Investigates. Stay safe.